start practicing when I'm playing with you guys. Figuring out what their stack is. Because I know, like, when they're like, I'm certain they're gonna die by maybe more.
Well, the thing that's nice about counting stack is, like, if you know that they have like 13 HP, you don't need to go for that rail. You can just shotgun.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right? So if you get better at calculating stack, then you don't have to take the big risk of landing that rail, and you can just like hit 4 shotgun pellets and they're gonna die.
Or just HMG, that way there's no delay between shots, really.
Yeah, you can miss 12 mini rails or 1 big rail.
I think he started with LG. It's gonna spawn. Yes! I was right! No! 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 I had a feeling he delayed it. I just had a feeling in my bones because I figured he might have had the spawn by LG first and picked up LG.
But it's a victory that you knew that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's still progress.
Yeah, I knew I was gonna die at least once like that.
When they aggressively use Berserk, I just like to pull out the gauntlet and hold mouse 1.
Ah! You need to start putting gauntlet in more. That's it? Yeah, that's it. Okay. I didn't even think about that.
Punch me for 50, you're getting gauntlet for 75.
Ah,
It doesn't work all the time though, in terms of movement.
spawn yet. Oh, I don't have rail. That's why that happened. Awkward. I thought for sure I was like, eat this 90 damage. Yeah, I'm dead, I'm dead, I'm dead. Follow me up. Yeah, he's gonna pick it up probably on the same timing. Yeah, I don't think the timing changed because he's in the area. I live. I need to get rail. I think it's the 20. Oh no, I don't think I would have lived if I ran. One. Don't want to fight. Go the other way. But it will spawn at the 5. Fuck. Need that. There's more armor there. Yeah. Let's... You guys healing for 50. So he's probably at like 60. My mega should be ready. And we'll spawn at the 11. 17.
come bearing gifts.
5-minute warning. Stopwatch.
Did 140 damage, John.
Between like controlling the items, you need to really work on getting all the weapons that you can.
Yeah. Yeah, I really
You-
need to
you
get
got,
LG
like-
in that fight.
Yeah, you had like 2 full rotations, and you only had rail. Like rail and shotgun.
I mean, this is like the hardest map to restack, like weapon-wise.
I think part of the reason he's getting the maps for free is because he's like,
He's focusing on the weapons, and
well, he's like, I just killed him, he needs to get guns, so I'm gonna punish him when he goes for the guns, and then you're just prioritizing the items, and he's just like not even, I don't know, that's the only thing that would make sense to me. He could just be really bad at timing too.
yeah.
I think it's a little of A and a little of B.
I'm just really playing this for 1 kill. Come on. Yeah. But I know he's kind of been playing the lower area.
I think LG or Rocket's gonna be a bit better than Rail right there.
I come bearing gifts.
He's just ignoring the items at this point. If that, he has no clue when they spawn at all.
I come bearing gifts.
Warning.
That's a problem if he knows that you're going for that armor down there.
Yeah.
Fire in the hole. Fire in the hole.
Stop watch. You lose.
Yeah. I should have thought about it because I just knew I needed a small armor.
Well,
But I didn't need it that bad.
if you notice, if he's in the area and you're going to it, it's pretty easy to get trapped there. But let me ask you, what do you think, like, how do you justify your weapon selection?
I feel like when I'm in control, it's really easy to go down and start picking up the weapons in the fights. But I was just afraid to go down there. I knew I needed to pick up the other weapons, but it's just hard to cycle both.
Well, I mean, just in general, like just as a rule, like when do you think it's a good time to hold out rail? When do you think it's a good time to hold out rocket? Like when's a good time to hold out LG?
I think LG is primarily mid-range. LG can be close range, but you need to switch to rocket for the end. I need to work on switching to rocket for the end. And then rail is either really good in really close range or long range. And machine gun's really good for long range and mid range. And then nail gun's good for all ranges.
I mean, like for me, I think of rail as like it's a good chip damage weapon and it's really good at punishing your opponent if you can't peek for very long. So, like if you're out of control, I find myself at least holding mostly rocket and rail more than I hold LG. Because if I take an LG fight and they're in control, I'm just going to lose it no matter what, right? Like, assuming equal skill with with all the weapons, if they're in control and I take an LG fight, I just lose, right? So if I know I'm out of control, I'm going to try my best to get at least like rail and rocket, and then try to find chip damage when they're going for those items. I mean, that guy was all over the place with his with his selection of where he wanted to be.
Yeah.
But that's kind of how I try to look at it. Like rail's good for like you have a good escape route and you know where your opponent's going to be and you try to get that 90 and then you're just out. Or I mean, you can even push off it if you feel like you have the stack and like the timing and all that stuff. So it's like you just need to try to think of different scenarios for like what gun you're holding and like in what position you have and what position your opponent has. And then if you start like if you have LG and your opponent has no clue where you are or you think you're being sneaky, you can definitely just set a trap where you just rocket somebody once and then switch to LG when they're unexpected, and then you can just mow them down after like that because they'll be surprised, right? Like
I think what scares me right now is I have bad for this map, I think if I'd redo it, I'd want to use Galena and really just play like. I think if I use Galena and just focus, I don't know, I don't want to overestimate him. I think if I play a good Galena, I can kind of set up a spot and really just stay, even if I'm out of control, be able to heal. And really just kind of set up a zone where I control like a weapon or two and like one item.
Getting back on the topic of weapon selection, I noticed a lot of the time during that match on Neth, your opponent could see you while your rail was cooling down. Like you don't want that. You want to like he was saying before, you want to like peek out, shoot, and be gone. You don't want to sort of be standing in front of your opponent with the rail out because it only does 90 damage every 0.8 of a second or whatever. You know, it has like super low DPS. You're going to be looking at your opponent the whole fight. You either want to have rockets or rail in most fights. You know, there's fights where if you like your opponent's on a clutch and they're rushing towards you, you'd be better off with nails, for example. But generally, if you're staring at your opponent for more than a split second, you want either LG or rockets.
Okay.
Unless they're like far away and you're using like an HMG on Corrupted Keep.
Yeah. Or it's like an Athena that's using her grappling hook to go into your face. You can pull out the shotgun, right? Like
I did. Oh, you missed that. I adjusted it in the second game. I got like a 6-kill streak because I just adjusted to playing around turret and shotgun. It was probably the least favorite game I've ever played of Quake, but I did actually adjust and I made a comeback. And that's probably when you realize I wasn't like complete trash. And then we played some more games, and a lot of them were close once he switched off at Theta. The problem is just finding the right opportunities to push. Because the problem is I really don't feel comfortable aggressing with rockets. Like, I feel like I'm bad at judging the depth at which the rockets go. Get what I'm saying?
It just comes with time of using them.
So
So you just need to use it more.
which is why I think I need to just grind out more hot rockets and just get
I mean, you
more
can grind out
comfortable
hot
with.
rockets, so you can grind it out in duel. That way you don't... Because I feel like there's a big disconnect. Like, I can hit like 45+% LG in like any pub, like no problem. But as soon as I go into a duel, it's like it's drastically lower. But that also comes with how comfortable you are. And I mean, you can practice in hot rockets, but I think you'll gain the most value of just saying, I really need to work on my rockets in duel. And you might sacrifice some rating at first, but at the end of the day, it's going to make you better. You'll have better spammer rockets. You'll understand like when you need to be spamming, how you need to be spamming, how you need to engage, what distance and what height you need to engage from. Because generally with rockets, if you have high ground over someone, it's like very high value for you to peek with a rocket, go back while the rocket's reloading, and then peek again, because they have to hit you with a direct, and you can splash them, right? Like they can rail you, but